Hey everyone, this is Steve here. We're going to be talking today about the richest man in Babylon. The seventh cure is to increase your ability to earn. You know, as the story went, remember the king of Babylon invited Arkad, the richest man of Babylon, to come to teach his teachers how he got his wealth. And of course, Arkad shared what he learned was the 7 cures to a lean purse. Okay. Now, remember, the first cure was to save 10% of the money that you make. You need to keep what you make. Okay. So save 10%. And the second cure was control that expenditures. That means only get your expenses down to where you only spend 90% of what you earn. Because one thing that Arkad realized when he was talking with the teachers there, or the teachers in the temple of learning, that there is different talents, different skills. People that had different incomes, but they all had one thing in common. They were all broke. Okay. They didn't learn the skills how to save money. So it didn't matter what much money they had. They still were broke. Okay. So, first cure again, save 10%. Second cure, control thy expenses. Right. The third cure, Arkad, as he learned, he said when you do these 2 steps, your purse will start to fatten. Okay. And then he said you need to start to invest what you have saved. Start investing so that it will multiply or grow children, as he said it. And so that's what Arkad did. But in the fourth cure, he talks about. Let me look at guard thy treasures from loss. Okay. So what happened? Arkad did develop the skill to save his money, and for a year he had this money he saved, and he wanted to invest it. So what he did, there was a brickmaker who was heading overseas, and he thought he'd send money with the brickmakers to buy some jewels. The brickmaker goes over there and he meets up with the Philotians, and the Philotians sold him some jewels, and come to find out the Philotians was a little bit of a scoundrel group, and that they sold him nothing but glass jewels. So no value there. So Arkad learned something important. You don't send a brickmaker who knows how to make bricks to buy jewels. You send somebody who knows how to buy jewels to buy jewels. The same way with you when you do your investments, is that you want to guard that treasures against loss, is by researching who knows how to do the type of investment you want to get involved in. Okay. And on the fifth cure, he talks about make your home a profitable investment. All right. You got to have a place to live. And if you're just paying rent to a landlord, you really don't, that money is gone. But if you buy a home and you start making payments on that home, well, your equity will start to build in that home. So, make a profit on your dwelling. Okay. But he said, you don't do it, if you don't buy, like a house, if it could cause a problem with your family, in that you don't have enough money to take care of them. For example, if you want to spend 70%, now you're leaving 20% for you and your family, and make it kind of hardship on you. So he said, you don't do that. So if you save your money like you do in the first 2 cures, you will have a fat person, and you're going to be able to have a down payment, so you can put a down payment on a house, and where you can keep it in the area of what you're paying in rent, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. And then from that, he went to ensure a future income. And basically, he said you want to set money aside for your future. Okay, whatever how that looks, you just set that money aside. So if something happens to you, that your family has something to fall on, and when you get up to the age where you can't work, you have money that will help you through the rest of your life. Okay, but then we get into the seventh cure, and this is increase your ability to learn. All right. Basically, what he is saying, we get caught, in a job or something that maybe we're not liking, or it occupies a lot of our time. We don't even got free times. But let me try it this way. Let's go and let's talk about the income ladder. This is something Jim Rohn shared one time. You got this ladder, it goes all the way up, and the bottom of the ladder is the lowest pay scale. And let's say you get working at McDonald's and you're making minimum wage, and let's say it's $5 an hour. Okay, so if that's the beginning spots where a lot of kids will start there at $5 an hour. Now, if you go out and take the trash out, whistle while you take the trash out, maybe they'll give you $6 an hour. Yes. Okay. But, society now, or politicians are saying, well, you need to increase the minimum wage up to $15. But you got to understand value in the marketplace. If they increase the wages to $15 an hour, well, obviously the cost or the hamburger going to the consumer is going to be higher. Are you willing to pay $10 for a hamburger or $15 for a hamburger? What it costs? See, products have a certain value to people. They're willing to pay, because I won't pay much. It's getting ridiculous. Now I hardly buy a hamburger anymore because of the cost of the hamburgers these days. And so when you have to keep your product within at a certain price, so people, it's value to, gives the value to the person that pays for it. Now the person that's making a hamburger, they can only pay so much. Otherwise, they don't make any money. They lose money. And nobody wants to own a business or anything and lose money. Okay. Now, the question I'm going to ask is, can that person at $5 an hour make $50 an hour? Yes, you can, because there's people that's making $50 an hour. Now, what's the difference between the $5 an hour and $50 hour earner? Is the seventh cure is applied here. Increase your ability to earn is by improving your skills. Only difference between a $5 an hour person and a $50 an hour is that they learn the skills, they got their training, they did the work, and now they're making $50 an hour. Now, if we go from $50 an hour to $500 an hour, is that possible? Making 10 times more? Yes, because there's people that's making $500 an hour. How? Is that they did the work, learned the skills, increased their value in the marketplace, and they can make $500 an hour. All right. And the top of the scale is like, I think there's an executive that made $80 million in a year, and the company that he runs makes billions. And because of his skills, he helps that company make billions of dollars. So $80 million is just a drop in the bucket, right? Because he developed the skills. He learned how to run and manage a company. So increase your ability to earn. Now, if you're stuck and you don't seem to have the money, and you want an increase, well, the boss only can give you so much. Well, if you want something different, you have to change, right? you have to learn the skills. Find that vehicle you want or have that desire. It's talking here about having a desire to want to do more. And with that desire, it's so strong that you do what it takes to satisfy that desire. Now, we want to say, I want to be rich. We say it general terms, but that's just a general term, and just saying that you want to be rich. But hey, I want to go from $5 an hour. I want to go to $50 an hour. What's that going to take? So you go out, you learn the skills, you find that vehicle, and you earn $50 an hour. So you see what I'm getting at here is that stop the complaining. The results of your life is you. Okay, it's your responsibility, not your employer's. Because when you go work for a guy, you agreed to work for him for a certain wage, right? Well, if you don't like it, you got to change it. It's not his responsibility. Because if you don't go and learn and you don't work on building your dreams, well, you're going to end up working for somebody building his dream. So think about that. If you want to have more out of life, maybe you're happy where you're at. As long as you're happy, that's fine. You got to do something. Find that vehicle and go learn the skills we got. That's what I'm doing right now. I worked in the heating and air conditioning field for 40 years, and finally I just realized that all I was doing was building my boss's dream. So I fired his butt back in April 2015, and I am working on I'm hooked in with a system that I had the possibility of making $500 an hour. Okay? And there's people who've done it. In fact, this system made $15 million in the last 4 years. So the system's there. It's what I got to do is I got to do the actions, learn the techniques, develop my skills, okay? And it will prove back because I am increasing my ability to earn, all right? Increasing your value in the marketplace. Well, if this was a help to you, this little study we're doing here with the richest man in Babylon, hey, go down and make a comment down below and tell me if you agree or disagree with some of the comments. That's fine. But you are responsible for you. If you don't like where you was at yesterday, you got to do something today to change. That's the amazing thing about life. Today is life. Your future has not been written. You can choose now to change, to do whatever you want to do to reach your dreams or your goals. All right, I hope to see you on the beaches of the world. Talk to you next time.